Hello, Puppetry here. Who are we? Why do we do what we do? And say what we say? What are words? What is language? All made up to create a false sense of identity. And what is a name but merely a word used to create an identity which is false by its very nature? What is this identity we are so attached to? Who is attached? Who wants to know? What is suffering? Who suffers? Where did all these words and language and questions come from? Let us ponder for a moment. Now, I am no Dr. Phil. I am no Oprah, or Amma, or Sri Sri, or Tony Danza. But let me say this. I cannot claim to have ownership of words. Who can? Though their importance is immensely irrelevant and meaningless. They are guideposts to the truth. For all is what it is, and that is all, silly people. Through inquiring and questioning all, you will find that you can go beyond the limits of their apparent meaning, the known to the unknown. The truth cannot be known, only experienced. You see, I shared with you the wisdom of my guru, and his guru's guru, and his guru's 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 guru. That there is nothing to do, nowhere to go. You were never born, and therefore will never die. So, death is an illusion, as is birth. And your perception of what you believe to be real is not the goal, happiness and peace for all. So until we realize all is found and never lost, or rather all is, and we are all, that we are that which we seek, for goodness sake. We will be bound by the illusions of suffering, sadness, and loss. Let go of the me, mine. Let go of this search for the holy freaking grail. For you are the grail that you seek. Stop the search. Go beyond what you think you know, and you will leave behind the limits of knowledge. You must unlearn and forget this nonsense. Inquire, question everything. Shift your gaze inward. Move towards the light. The movie is over. There's gum stuck on your shoe. Yet there is no end for this, but the beginning of the endless beginnings. Yes, try to figure that one out. You see, I make no sense. And this is what I'm talking about. So, puppetry wishes to remind everyone to find your freedom in the dance of the unknown, the great mystery. Awaken your inner goof, for the goof will set you free. Awaken, awaken. With your laughter, I stumble on my words because they don't want to come out of my mouth. You see, I know so much, I can talk without moving my mouth and you can still hear me. Yes, laughter will brighten your days. As my master Sri Sri Ondanandana once said, right before he had a massive coronary, let's put some more gravy on those mashed potatoes. Thanking you all. Blessings. Namaste. Ciao. Bye-bye.
Doesn't get much more passionate than Puppet G does it.
Puppet G speaks his truth in whatever way that he sees it. He just puts it right on out there.
I love it what he says at the end. Yeah, the truth will set you free.
That's
it's true.
right.
That is the truth, isn't it?
It is. Well, that's what I follow. It feels so good. I remember distinctly as a child, you'd tell a little untruth or something. And
those white lies.
I remember I broke my dad's favorite glass one time. And he kept saying, who broke this? Who broke this? And my sister and I, neither of us would cop to it, right? Doing that sibling thing. And what was happening inside of me at that time. I must have been like 8 years old in the turmoil. I remember just having a complete breakdown and going to him, just the tears and I did it. And, he was very forgiving. But it's just so nice to not even go there in the beginning. Just say what needs to be said and deal with whatever comes about from that in an open and honest way. I think it lets life be easy because then I don't need to think about keeping that covered up or the guilt associated with it or anything like that. So
I think that's a good point, Brandy, because it's true. Speaking the truth is really, it's an internal experience. It's really about really feeling good in your body, So, yeah, that's a really good point. Even as a little kid, you notice when you're not speaking your truth, how differently that feels, and it's so freeing to just speak the truth. And I know we sort of get away with it, and I should make this an I statement, because there's exaggerating and there's white lies, and I know I get a little bit involved in some of that. And, just reading this book over to do this show, even gossip, getting involved in a little bit of gossip, I'm certainly guilty of that occasionally. Mm-hmm. But even though I do all of that just a little bit, after reading that book and reading that, it really is an internal experience. I'm going for the best possible internal experience. So I'm going to start really stepping up to the plate on that one and really speaking my truth. So I want you to call me on that if you ever hear me telling those little white lies on the phone. You want me to bring back your superhero name? Yes.
Okay, so I labeled Mitch. I gave him a superhero name. He is Exaggerator.
Exaggerator!
Anytime that he tells one of those little exaggerated things, like he might say, about 150 million years ago, I went to the store, and I'll say, really? 150 million years ago? So instead of really just questioning that, if he says that now, I just say, Exaggerator!
Exaggerator!
Activate his super exaggerating power. So
and just to be aware of it. So keep me aware of it.
Okay, I will bring back Exaggerator. You might even get a little cape with an E on it.
Well, I would love that. How about a shirt with a big E on the front? Yeah, we'll have to have Bernie. I know he's really creative about that. Brandy's husband, Bernie, so we'll have to create a T-shirt with a big E on the front.
Oh, okay, we got it. Okay, so that's speak your truth. Let it be easy by just speaking the truth.
And the outcome is always really great, too. I know I have a funny story. I don't know if I've ever told you this. I have a friend, and if she's watching, she's going to know exactly who this is. So I'm not going to mention any names, but this is a friend of mine who decided to do this eHarmony thing, eHarmony.com, and find the perfect soulmate. So she's filling all this out, and I'm reading through it. She wants me to read through it before she actually puts it online. I'm reading through this, and she's talking about she lives here with in New Mexico, and she's sitting here writing that she lives in California and San Francisco, and she's 10 years younger than she really is, and she lied about her career, about what she does for a living, and I didn't really understand any of that. Of course, she explained it to me. It still didn't make any sense, but and it was about privacy. But when we got to the end, I thought it was really funny because I guess somewhere it asks you, what's the most important value that you seek in another person? And she put honesty, that they tell the truth. And it just cracked me up after all that lying. And again, the outcome was no date. I mean, people could feel the integrity or the lack of integrity in that. So it was a pretty funny story. I thought that she, that at the very bottom to write. The most important thing is people who tell the truth after she had like 3 really big lies, where she lived, who she was, and what she does. I mean, that's pretty intense. But